that he believes that they can go to. They better shift into it quickly or this series is going to be over.
Lisa, New Orleans in the blue gets the tap. The ball was put up in the air by Ronnie Garrettson, our lead official tonight. His dad, Darryl, longtime official in the NBA, passed away this past week. First game, Ronnie's been back. He works the game with Tony Brothers and Joe DeRosa. Off the miss, Dirk Nowitzki gets it for the Mavs, and here they come. Buoyed by the home crowd, look for the Mavericks to push it tonight. Nowitzki.
Dallas in this building, year after year, they have one of the top records that we have at the home court advantage. Big thing here tonight, you'll see them. They'll be quick in the open floor. They'll get fast breaks. But the big thing, can they defend?
David West, who Chris Paul has called for 3 years now, the 17-foot assassin. Paul says, I never see him miss a 17-footer. That first year he was here, just hit a 17-footer to tie our game at 2.
Very quietly, 25 points a game, and he's shooting over 54%.
Here is Kidd, who's been in single digits in the point column. You would think points from Kidd would be important tonight.
Absolutely. He's got to take Chris Paul off the dribble, get him down below the foul line, also post him up down in that area. Give him a fatigue factor to think about to kind of slow him down at the offensive end.
A lot of buzzwords we heard with Paul. Make him work on the defensive end and see what he can do on the offensive side when he gets the ball out of his hands. There is West again. He's off the mark, and Terry, who like Kidd, will take it and go. Goes right at Paul.
Now, in 2 games this year in this building, Dallas wins 2-0. Jason Terry had 30 and 25. That's why he's in the lineup tonight.
It slips out of the hands of Nowitzki. Tyson Chandler had Jason Kidd just get in his way. And the offensive foul, first of the night called on the starting center for the Hornets.
Now, that was a very smart play by Jason Kidd. All defense, 9 straight years. We all know that anytime you can get something on Chandler, you must take the charge because he is a force in this lineup.
7 o'clock local start time. The building filling up a little bit late, but rising in volume. Hosting Paul is Kidd.
I like it. I like it because Jason, just don't settle, Jason. Try to keep your light and get into the paint.
Reddick took it away, and another trick with Terry. He is fouled by David West, and Hubie, there have not been many turnovers by the Hornets for all the points they've scored in the first 2 games.
Mike, when you think of 115 points, you got to say, 12, 15 turnovers. Now, that was a great play, and that's what's been missing in games 1 and 2. Forcing turnovers by Dallas, steals, and also blocked shots. Non-existent, below average, and this is something that they must get here in this building tonight.
New Orleans native Avery Johnson, his team certainly feeling the heat. He was very candid with us, said, maybe the playoffs will start for us because we did not play games 1 and 2 at a playoff tempo in the losses by 12 and 24 in New Orleans.
Mike, when you are ranked 6th or 5th in every defensive category, like Dallas was, you cannot say you're going to accept 115 points. That's 19 points more than you were giving up at any time during the season.
Paul over Terry, misfires, and Jason Kidd gets the rebound. You expect an early push from the Mavericks here tonight. Nowitzki trails. Good chip by Dampier to keep it alive. Kidd gambles for the steal. It's an opportunity for the Hornets. And Stojakovic chased off the line, takes a tougher 2. Rebound by Terry.
Now you've got to get to Stojakovic. He's attempting 8 threes a game in this series.
New Orleans is open 1 of 5. Josh Howard has to get going. Nowitzki, good rebound by Dirk. Couldn't convert. Dampier, another try. And it's slapped away. And a foul is called on Chandler. 2 on Tyson.
The people, this is what the people needed. Never mind the team. They're encouraged by what they're seeing here right now. And I like the energy level, Mike. I like the fact that they're attacking the basket. In this building, you must get to Nowitzki. When they're in transition and running, he's a trailer, and he's looking for the 3 right to the right side of the 3-point circle.
Eric Dampier, 6'11", 265. You've got to score more than 4 points and 4 boards in game 1, 6 points and 6 boards in game 2, if your team's going to win a series. A season series that was split with the home teams winning each game. The Mavs have dominated of late, and you may have heard this in the pregame. Dallas has won 13 straight at home over this franchise. The last time the Hornets franchise won in Dallas was in the old building, Reunion Arena. Byron Scott was an assistant first-year coach in Sacramento with Rick Adelman, and Chris Paul was in 7th grade. So it's been a long time, and they've made it even tougher. Down 5, and they're starting center Tyson Chandler on the bench with 2 fouls early. Hilton Armstrong has checked in. Paul is fouled by Dampier, his first on the match here tonight.
Now, that was encouraging on the trap, mainly because the traps have been soft. By soft, we mean Paul has been able to split them at will. That was one of the times that Dampier was where he was supposed to be. But you've got to stop. You just can't continue.
David West went right around Dampier like he was standing still, but out of bounds, and Jason Kidd gets it and goes.
I like what we're seeing. 1 shot attempt, Mike, and then we're going in the other direction.
On the switch, Dampier has Chris Paul. He kicks free on the side. Dirk has 3. Old shooting start from the outside for Nowitzki. He is 1 of 4 here in the early going. The team's 2 of 9.
If I'm coaching, I'm happy, Mike. If I'm coaching Dallas, they're getting great looks at the basket. There has not been a rush shot.
Kidd pounding Paul. 5 to shoot. Morris Peterson got rid of it quick. Never really had it in his hand. Howard gets the board. It's 5 on 4 this way. Nowitzki hit this one. He got fouled. He got the basket.
Mike, just by the fact that Jason Terry is in this lineup, you can see the speed difference. They're getting New Orleans to miss, and then they're getting out on the break. Their transition has been excellent, mainly because you have another ball handler to push the activity. Maybe Jason Terry, a point guard throughout most of his career, and then also Jason Kidd.
Early timeout New Orleans representatives called the Michael Irvin Show, which is a radio show with the Hall of Fame wide receiver on the ESPN radio station here in Dallas, the station that carries the Mavericks games, by the way. That representative said Howard wanted to come on to talk about that story involving the marijuana use. And in it, as you've been seeing on the bottom line, Howard said that he admitted to using marijuana not during the NBA season. West has a shot blocked by Nowitzki. Nowitzki takes it away. Obviously, that raised a lot of feathers all around the NBA and here in Dallas as Howard, who has struggled in this series, scores to make it a 12-2 game. Just him admitting that he used marijuana in the offseason is not a violation of any policy at this point. You need a positive test to go forward with anything like that. And a first positive test would lead to entering the program for substance abuse, I should say. And a second one would lead to a fine. And a third one, a suspension. And those are all positive tests. So Howard is out here and playing tonight, despite his perhaps honest, but certainly very, very poorly timed radio appearance here in Dallas this afternoon. At least the Salters have more on that in a second. The double comes on Howard. It's Terry from the top. With 2 to shoot, Kidd to JT for 3. Jason Terry made more threes than anybody in a Dallas uniform this year, and they're up 11.
Jason Terry plays big in this building. He shoots a high percentage, and he always has the ability to get you 30 points.
West. The Hornets have opened 2 of 11. Good job by Paul to knock it away from Nowitzki. It's off Chris Paul. It'll be, and Terry right in Paul's face with some words, and he honestly, Terry deserved a T there, but didn't get it. It's Dallas ball.
Now keep an eye on the catch right here. That's also Paul's trying to brace himself as he's coming down. That's not a cop-out. Naturally, the people in the building are upset because their guy is going down head first to the floor.
And by the way, that's a lot of the toughness that Dallas, frankly, was missing in games 1 and 2. This is out of bounds. It'll be Dallas ball. And here's Lisa with more on the Josh Howard story from pregame today. Lisa?
Well, Mike, I spoke to Mark Cuban about it briefly. He didn't want to say a whole lot about the Josh Howard situation, but he did say, we'll do what we need to do. We are going to deal with it internally. Before the game, Howard met with the Mavericks assistant GM Keith Grant. They had about a 15-minute closed-door meeting. Afterwards, Josh went to his locker and did speak to reporters, but he said he only wanted to talk about the marijuana situation after the game. He only wanted to talk about this game, so I asked him, how do you keep this from being a distraction? He said, it isn't a distraction. My teammates are very supportive. But Jerry Stackhouse told me, he said, you know, Josh Howard is a free spirit. We know that. Perhaps he's keeping it too real by saying the things that he said. But he said, ultimately, it is not ideal that we are talking about this situation an hour before the game and we're down 0-2.
A must win. First foul on Nowitzki. Gennaro Pargo is checked in for the offensively challenged tonight Hornets, who get a 3 from Stojakovic to make it an 8-point game. One last postscript on this Howard thing so we can get back to the game. It's an important story, but we got a playoff game, which takes precedence here right now. Josh Howard, in that interview with Michael Irvin and Kevin Kiley, his co-host, implicated a bunch of other players in the league. Now, people have talked about that for years, but the reality is you can't throw everybody under the bus by just randomly saying that. So if there was poor judgment even talking about it, whether honest or not, as Howard knocks down that shot, to roll the rest of the league under the bus, and Michael Irvin didn't push him into it. Offensive foul hitting Armstrong. Howard's the one who took the initiative in this conversation. That was grossly unfair to the other players in the NBA, no matter what their choices or their use. Do you think it's a distraction at all, an hour, a few hours before a big game?
In my opinion, absolutely not. All right? It's a distraction for the fan, for management, and for everyone within your family. But as far as the other players understand, this game is the biggest game of the season for them, and that goes right into the back corner.
Here's the reality. He's having his best moments of the series thus far. He misses there. Hilton Armstrong, second year out of Connecticut, gets the rebound. And he's in because Chandler has 2 fouls. Gennaro Pargo, off the bench, knocks down a 3. Coach, bench players on the road, always guys you want to watch in the playoffs.
Well, right now, you must got to pay attention, Dallas, mainly because Stojakovic and Pargo are 2 guys who will launch threes as soon as you bat an eye. When they come in the game, you've got to force them to dribble the basketball. Get them inside the 3-point line.
Howard was out of bounds and turns it over. Maybe the headline in this game for a lot of folks, other than the series, was New Orleans hasn't won in Dallas in 10 years. Does that matter at all?
No, mainly because of the fact that your team is playing its best basketball. But go back to the season. They're 0-2 in this building. Why? Chris Paul is only averaging 18 points and 7 assists in those 2 games. That is major. And I like what they're doing to him right now. Jason Terry is going under every screen and roll, and they're going to force him to shoot the long jump shot.
Terry had a turnover, but he gave it right back on the 3-on-2. And it's Pargo pushing to Paul, who sets his feet and missed on the 3.
Hey, they'll live with that. Chris Paul in this series is 0 for 4. He's not a big 3-point shooter. Mainly, he doesn't take a lot of threes.
They say Pargo flopped. Terry knocks down the shot, and then inserts into the lineup has really added energy. 6 points, a couple of boards, and really pushing the Dallas offense.
Well, when you're a young team and you're on the road, you're looking for easy things. You're not going to get a veteran crew to give you a flop when you're the visiting team.
Dallas much rougher with Chris Paul thus far. Splits that double as Nowitzki was late. Fouled by Dampier. His second and the third on the Mavs in the quarter.
I thought the defense was excellent. Jason Kidd actually cut Paul off. There was no place to go. He was stuck with the basketball, and then they bail out with the contact.
Correct, that is 1 on Dampier. The foul earlier was given to, that foul was given to Jason Kidd earlier on. So Chris Paul comes to the line. You see those numbers a moment ago. First player to have those kind of stats. He'll be his first 2 stat lines. Just extraordinary. And we can jump out at the points and the assist. But the coach at you grabbed me today and said, look at that turnover line.
The turnover line is just outstanding. He has the basketball in his hand 75% of the time. When you trap him and he creates, that puts pressure on the other 4 guys who shoot a high percentage. Now, they did that at home. Can they do it in this building? Well, they have not done it in the 2 previous regular season games. This is their challenge.
Jason Terry out, Jerry Stackhouse in. Stack 6 of 19 from the field in the first 2 games. 6 of 20.
Now, that was a terrible mismatch by Stackhouse. You had Paul in the post trying to play Dampier, and he did not pass him the basketball.
Paul is 0 for 3. Nowitzki's outlet to Kidd. Dirk over West.
He loves it. He loves the middle of the floor, Mike. He comes down as that trailer, and he'll come right to that spot. If you notice, all the ball reversal has been to him at the top of the circle or behind the 3-point line.
7 points, 4 rebounds, early 4 Nowitzki. Pargo has hit his first 2 shots. The Chicago native, Gennaro Pargo. He's really the other guard who comes off the bench. We'll see Bonzi Wells in a 2-3 role, but that guy's important.
New Orleans, they have an 8-man rotation. 7 of the 8 guys in this series are shooting 54 to 64%. I have never seen that in all my years in the NBA since 1973. I've never seen stats like that.
Dirk and Armstrong. And lucky not to get a foul call. It's out of bounds off Nowitzki. As Game 4 of the Soulja Boy series continues. Big comeback from Washington last night. Here's the Wendy's quality matchup. Has that guy gotten more run for doing nothing? The Lakers and Nuggets Game 3 will come your way tomorrow. Jazz Rockets tomorrow on ESPN with Utah leading that series 2-1. What a win for the Rockets last night in Salt Lake City. And of course, Phoenix San Antonio Game 3 comes your way next here on ESPN.
Well, you like what the Rockets did on the road. They came back from being down, played extremely well, took the lead. Everyone was defending, and then Landry, an unsung hero through the season. If that young man didn't get an injury early, Mike, he would have been right up there with Horford challenging for the Rookie of the Year.
Kevin Durant, of course,
absolutely.
in Seattle.
The young guy's really done a terrific job, and he's doing it at playoff time.
David West inside, fouled by Brandon Bass. The basket almost goes, and he'll come to the line. Let me just correct something there. That Laker-Denver Game 3 in Colorado tomorrow will be on TNT. Late afternoon at 5:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 in the Rockies. There you see that. And the rest of the games. And next, it's the Spurs and Suns. Mavericks Hornets Game 3 tonight. Game 4 of this series will be here Sunday night in Dallas, and that will be on TNT.
Now, there's a lot of pressure in this game, Mike, on West and Paul to be your 2 leading scorers. Paul averaging 33, West averaging 25 in the first 2 games. Well, they're off to 1 for 10 from the floor. Now, with young teams, just relax. If you're getting good shots, everything will work its way out. What we have to do right now is take this heavy blow that we are getting from Dallas in the open floor, and let's button up our defense.
And New Orleans absolutely knew that was coming tonight.
Sure.
A team with 8 guys who've been to the NBA Finals, and a core that together was embarrassed when they blew a 13-point lead with 6.5 to go in Game 3 of the Finals against Miami, and then lost 4 straight. They were going to come with some energy here in Game 3.
Mike, this team and franchise, always one of the best home court records year after year.
Brandon Bass off the mark, and the rebound by Hilton Armstrong. And for as well as Dallas has played in this quarter, you kind of look at the score and say, oh, it's only 5 points, really?
That's right. Mainly because of the 3. Pargo and Stojakovic come in, and we all know that that is part of the Hornets' arsenal.
And off the bench, Bonzi Wells is going to go the other way. A holding foul calls on the Hornets.
That's too bad because Bonzi has come in, Mike, and he's done an excellent job in games 1 and 2. Mainly because he can score on the break, he's on the offensive board, and then posting up on the left side of the floor.
A little problem spot. Hilton Armstrong picked up that foul, so he and Chandler have 2. Not a lot of depth with the bigs for New Orleans. This is a kick, 14 on the clock for the match.
The Hornets basically rotate 8 guys, Mike. That's why you look up front and you say Armstrong is their only quality guy. That's correct, that they have faith in, and they stay with this 8-man rotation.
Each team a foul to give in the last 45 seconds. Stackhouse off the mark again. 0 for 2 here tonight.
Just think how many times now in the early going they've had Paul posted up down there, but no scores. Why? The fadeaway jump shot. You're not taking him to the rim.
Armstrong going to go at Nowitzki. Couldn't finish. Dirk gets the rebound. It's the 5th time tonight.
Strong move, though, Mike. I like the move.
Nine in the quarter for Dirk.
Now, Dirk Nowitzki, if you've been following him, he's averaging 29 in the series and 8 boards. But the big fact, he's getting to the line 14 times a game. He's attacking the rim.
The owner, Mark Cuban, tells him to get up for the end of the quarter. Paul missed. Nowitzki gets a pushing foul. It's going to be called on Armstrong, and that will be his 3rd foul. So Hilton Armstrong has picked up 3 fouls, 2 offensive, and that a loose ball foul here in the first quarter. And a problem for Byron Scott.
Byron just signaled to his stat man on the bench, and he verified the three.
Nowitzki, that was a little bit late. The shot off the mark. Thanks to Byron Scott. Chris Paul on the bench to start the second quarter with Lisa Salters and Hall of Famer Hubie Brown. Mike Tirico. That score is correct. 23-16, a 7-point lead. Terry took the loose ball and a quick shot and missed it. Kept alive by Brandon Bass.
A live body. Next to Nowitzki, he's the guy who has been consistent for Dallas in the first two games.
6-year veteran Malik Allen has checked into the Dallas lineup. Allen seeing only garbage time moments in game 2 as Terry comes baseline to make it a 25-16 Dallas lead.
Mike, not only does Terry have 8 points, but the fact that he is pushing the basketball, their transition game is excellent. And the big key, they forced 5 turnovers in that first quarter.
Bonzi Wells took it, went right at Stackhouse for the hoop. It's 25-18. Tyson Chambers back in with his 2 fouls. Julian Wright, the rookie, is coming as well for the Hornets with Pargo, Stojakovic, and Wells.
Yeah, I like that matchup. They have Wright going to play Josh Howard. And 2 good athletes matched up against one another.
Terry, flat-footed, launches the 3, and Stojakovic able to get the rebound. Julian Wright, the rookie out of Kansas, at 6'8", 225.
Now, Mike, with this group in there, you can see they're trying to post up Bonzi Wells down inside, and they're bringing the double team man right away.
5 to shoot. Stojakovic. I love to watch him shoot.
Yeah,
love to watch him shoot.
Mike, well, you couldn't pick a better guy. I mean, if you're going to love somebody, you know, he's got to be able to shoot him for you. Well, he's only shooting over 60% in threes in the series.
It is a 4-point game with 8 on the clock. Terry, well defended by Pargo. Bass with the clock running out. Hits a 9-1-1 shot.
Bass just stays within his strong suit. If he has an open jumper, he'll take it. If he's not, he's going to drive the basketball if there's seconds on the clock. Plus, he is a very quick and explosive body on the board.
Every trip in this quarter has started with Bonzi on the box to Stackhouse and the 3-point line getting New Orleans back in this game. The Hornets have hit 4 triples, 2 of them by Pargo.
Yeah, Pargo with 2, Stojakovic with 2. You know that when you're guarding these 2 guys. You must pay attention and get out on them.
Chandler has to be careful with the 2. Right on the overplay, didn't get to Bass. He should go right at Chandler. Rebound Stojakovic. Did that first quarter remind you of the first quarter of game 1 in New Orleans, Coach?
Yeah, a little bit. You're right. Let's face it. Dallas played a solid first half in game 1. Unfortunately for them, but that's when it ended.
Checked out.
That's exactly right. The next 6 quarters now is very brutal. We do not want to give out those numbers.
Bonzi made a bad pass and went right to Pargo, and for the 50-4.
Trying to knock you out in the first few rounds. And if we can just take the punches, start delivering a few back and stand on our feet, then we're going to be okay.
Now, he's right on the money. He's only 1 point down, and his 2 best players, West and Paul, are 1 for 11. The rest of the guys are playing well, and we all know, we're looking at this right now, we're saying, gee, Dallas should be up 15.
That's right, your 2 All-Stars on the road, 1 for 11. Howard at the back end of the shot clock. He's long. Bass is athletic with Chandler there for the rebound. Eric Dampier has come back in for the Mavericks. Maybe they'll get a foul number 3 on Chandler. Bonzi Wells air ball. Julian Wright took the air ball and threw it down with the right hand.
Now this young guy, when he gets minutes, he can do some spectacular things. What they need him to do is just pay attention defensively, help us out on the boards, and then pick up the garbage points.
First lead of the night. Terry got trapped, tried to put it up. Dampier with the bump, and the foul is called on the other end. The activity of Wright putting the Hornets in the lead.
Now Bonzi Wells is going to shoot this short. Watch Wright. See, he's being active. And he's smart enough to know, don't put the ball on the ground. Just take it and go right back up with a thunder dunk.
Stackhouse right to the bench, 0 for 2. Nowitzki and Kidd come back in.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in what we're seeing at the offensive end of the floor. Mainly Dallas, there's very little movement, Mike. Everything is a jump shot. Remember, in games 1 and 2, they averaged 38 foul shot attempts. Come on, we got to see you get the ball down in the painted area to the rim.
Back to the starting 5. Howard to the rack. Is that to the rim?
I do believe with the punctuation. Bam! Force them to guard you off the dribble. They cannot get in foul trouble with their main guy.
Bonzi over Howard. Got the shooter's touch. Bonzi Wells, the veteran who is trying to get out of the first round. He's 0 for 6 in the first round. We always talk about Tracy McGrady because he's a star, all-star performer. Wells trying to win a series, up 2-0. Howard went right at right, and it was wrong. Pargo to Stojakovic on the run out.
Love it. Love it. In the 2 previous games, the Hornets have double points in the paint, double fast break points.
Be a blocking foul on the right as he tried to slide in front of Josh Howard.
Yeah, Joe DeRosa had a good angle on that. From this angle, it kind of looked like maybe he was there. Now, Josh Howard going strong to the basket. He can get there without any problem. Now, watch right here. Now, I just thought that defensive guy, you know, he's moving. Of course he's moving because he's rotating. But he cut off the lane.
Howard well off in his points from the regular season, where he averaged a career-high 20. He scored 27 in the first 2 games. Has 6 points here tonight. All right, here's the lineup. TNT's got 2 for you tomorrow. The Magic and the Raptors, and the Lakers and the Nuggets, the guys who get their coverage going at 2 Eastern. Now on ABC on Sunday, we'll be in Washington to see Game 4 Cavs-Wizards and Game 4 of the Spurs-Sun series. Game 3 of that series is next. And on NBA TV, Toronto-Orlando Game 5 will be back in the Magic's Kingdom at 7:30 Eastern Time. And of course, here on ESPN, you got the game next. And Saturday's doubleheader after our NFL draft coverage moves to ESPN2. ESPN will the Celtics Hawks, Rockets Jazz.
Got to get the layup.
Gennaro Pargo got in the way of Jason, and a foul is called on the guard.
When you have a 2-man break, what you try to do is stay lane wide. By staying lane wide, see, they're too close together. One defender can play you. Now, if Jason Terry would have gone down lane wide, no way could Pargo. If Pargo committed to him, then it would have opened up the layup for Jason Kidd.
You see Kidd's numbers. Hubie, what do they need more of from Kidd in this game, and if this series goes longer?
Well, they need the offensive penetration, no doubt about it. We know that he can shoot a high percentage in 3-point shooting, but he must make himself more available from the foul line down when they go into this half-court offense. I would think that they would be calls from the bench to continue to post up to point people, whether it's Pargo or whether it's Paul, whoever is guarding.
We're tied at 32, approaching the halfway point of the second quarter. Hornets leading the series 2-0 with Game 4 here in Dallas on Sunday. Peja Stojakovic the miss. Chandler with 2 fouls fighting. Terry comes away with it. They go 5-hole on Nowitzki. And that'll only help the Dallas Stars, who play Game 1 of their second-round series with San Jose tonight in California.
Very bad pass that time by Jason Kidd. It's difficult to throw a bounce pass at the knees of a 7-footer when he's running.
Oh, we forget Nowitzki's 7 feet. He's out here all the time. You're supposed to be, if you play on the perimeter, you got to catch those, right?
Listen, if he made that, we would have had him playing shortstop with Jeter, with the Yankees, and give Jeter a week off so he can recover.
Texas Rangers could use anything right now. They are struggling mightily. Nice call back in. The lob for Chandler could not be converted. And Dirk on the push.
Now, the opportunity was a good choice.
Terry wide open. Missed the 3. The Mavs outside shooting has not been very good. It's been okay. Boy, if it was good, if they had a good surge, they'd be up 10 or 12 right now. They're 1 of 5, as you see, behind the triple tape.
Whoa.
Should have been a foul?
Well, I'll tell you what. That was a Paul down in there with Terry on him through that left elbow. Now it has to have contact now in order for it to be a foul.
First field goal for Chris puts New Orleans back on top. As they double, it rotates to Howard free. He missed the 3. Dampier, though, the rebound at Chandler, who has the 2 fouls, and Howard fouls him.
Now, Dampier has got to get you some points, Mike. Right now, he does not have a field goal. He's 2 for 2 on the line.
Through this quarter, 34-32 New Orleans. Give me a little feel for the coaching team.
Give it to the bench. Give it to the bench. Pargo with 10. All right, Bonzi Wells with 4. Wright with 2. You're getting 16 to 2 bench production.
West going at Brandon Bass. His shot is short. The former Hornet signing the free agent with the Mavs. Sends the charge. Boy, they've been a blur tonight. Jason Kidd the finish. Ties it at 34.
With Kidd out there and Terry, they're very, very explosive tonight. Main thing right now, West and Paul have just got to take their time. They're getting shot opportunities. Just relax a little bit. Going into that right there, they were 2 for 13. Now they're 3 for 14.
Paul missed his first 4 shots. He's 2 of 2 now. New Orleans right in this game. Devin George has come in, the veteran for the Mavericks. With Kidd, Bass, Nowitzki, and Terry. Good work on the sideline. As the ball went out of bounds, Bonzi Wells tried to keep it alive. It's 9 to shoot for Dallas.
All the movement that we're getting at the Dallas end below the foul line, all these screens, guys are not curling. By that we mean come off the screen and curl into the middle of the floor, get a pass, and you're already on your way to the paint. Everything is baseline movement, and then the guy is catching the basketball out on the sideline. So why all of this motion? It's not getting you anything. You're not making the defense work.
Terry out, Josh Howard in. Short shot clock. Kidd, nice interior feed as Paul was guarding Bass. Bass couldn't get it. Deflected out by New Orleans. It'll stay with the Mavs.
We are not seeing any action in the painted area out of the set offense. Yeah, on the break they're scoring, no doubt about it. But Dallas needs to show us some kind of action in the post-up game.
Catch and shoot by Nowitzki gets his first basket of the second quarter, and he's the first player for Dallas in double figures with 11. Gennaro Pargo, who came off the bench leading New Orleans with 10. And Paul trying to find the rhythm. Missed that shot after hitting his last 2. Devin George the rebound.
Well, they consistently are going under all of the screens on Paul. They're going to force him to hit the long shot.
Maybe it's time for Nowitzki to be force-fed a couple here and get him going. Kidd, a 2.
He can do that, Mike. We know that he can make that shot. During the season, he shoots a very solid percentage. This season in Dallas, how about 46% in threes?
Coming over in the trade from the Nets. It doesn't shoot for Paul, who has not had his imprint on the game like he did in games 1 and 2 just yet. West is off the mark, and Bonzi Wells will be called for a foul, which is going to be the third on New Orleans here in the second quarter. QB West is 1 of 9 from the field.
Now, that's a big foul by Bonzi Wells because Bonzi is a key guy. Now, keep an eye on Kidd. You say, well, why did that open up? Well, it's one of the very few times we've seen a post-up guy, especially a big guy. When that ball went in, he was double-teamed, you kick the ball out, you're going to get open shots.
Devin George right around Wells for 2. Devin George, who, of course, was the 5th Beatle in 2004 when the Lakers had Shaq and Kobe and Karl Malone and Gary Payton. He was the other starter, man who has 3 rings from his experiences in L.A. Wells at him, and Devin recalled for the foul. As we have Theo, Byron Scott with the Lakers. They've also coached in the finals here in the last few years. Well, the entire NBA community, we want to add our thoughts to the passing, as mentioned before, of Daryl Garrettson, 27 years in officials, 17 years the supervisor of NBA officials, 2,000 games, 269 playoff games, 41 NBA finals. He passed away earlier this week, and his son Ron, his first game back since his dad's passing. Daryl was ill for the last couple of months, and all of our thoughts to Ronnie and to the Garrettson family. He'd be a guy who you saw many an NBA night.
Absolutely.
Coaching and broadcasting, one of the good guys in that business.
Well, he set a tone when he took over as the head of the officials. They grabbed that situation, and remember, we went from 2-man crews to 3-man crews. They set the standard, and I thought he did an excellent job. When you knew he was on a game, you knew that it was going to be a fair game, whether you were on the road, whether you were at home, and I thought that he set a high standard.
And his son Ronnie, one of the top lead officials in the NBA. He's worked 11 NBA Finals games like his dad, and we'll certainly see him in the finals. Brandon Bass was fouled by Bonzi Wells. We'll have one more coming, and there's more first-round action on ESPN tomorrow night. So when the NFL draft ends on ESPN, moves to ESPN2, we've got Celtics-Hawks, Game 3 from Atlanta, and then Game 4 of the Rockets and the Jazz. And we mentioned the Rockets, that big comeback. And getting Rafer Alston back was huge. They were without their starting point guard Game 1 and 2. They'll try to square the series in Salt Lake. That's our doubleheader on ESPN tomorrow night. Mavericks lead by 6. The last 8 scored by the home team. Down 2-0 in the series. West turned away by Nowitzki. Slapped that by Nowitzki. Good defense.
Got plenty of time.
Bonzi, tough catch. Good finish.
The fact that Bonzi opened up was incredible, mainly because everyone else was covered and all he did was run the baseline.
So Chris Paul assist number 4. Nowitzki has West on the outside. Paul comes to double. Devin George is the open man. Rebound by West.
Now that was a beautiful baseline screen to set up the corner. They're doing a good job. That left-hand corner has been open the entire half.
90 seconds till the half. Paul. Stojakovic in the corner, watched by Howard. And Wells off the mark.
It's a situation where the Hornets have got to go in and say, look, we're hanging in this game, and we know that West and Paul are 3 for 16. They're going to explode in the second half. Big thing for us, though, we've got to play better defense.
Bass is doubled. 8 to shoot. Nowitzki waits at the top. Stumbling on through to George. A 3. Devin George, who had only 22 three-point shots in his 53 games this year, gives the Mavs a 7-point lead. Paul cannot convert. Good punch out by Chandler, but George with Kidd. Who's trailing?
Ready.
It's Howard. West got a hand in there, knocked it off. Kidd stepped on the baseline. And it goes to the Hornets. Let me remind you, Toyota halftime show is coming up. Mark Jones, Stephen A. Smith, Jalen Rose, and our special guest tonight, B. Diddy, Baron Davis. They'll look at Game 3 where the Sixers are blowing out the Pistons. Spurs, Suns preview, and more on the Josh Howard story that we reported on earlier on. Josh admitting to smoking marijuana in the offseason. It comes up on the Toyota halftime show.
Now, when you look at this first half, we know that Dallas, Nowitzki has had a fantastic half with the 11 points and the 8 boards. But the fast break game, they are winning this one tonight 12-2. And remember, in games 1 and 2, it was just the reverse. The Hornets dominated the fast break game by 10 to 12 points every night.
Great close to the second quarter by Dallas. Will they be able to put a lid on it? Pick and roll West for 2.
Just have patience, and by that, create the space. That's the first time that we've seen West go to the left side of the floor, Mike, and create the space. Because up until then, he's been going too close to the lane and the rotations. He made the rotations easy for the defense.
Avery Johnson takes the 20-second timeout that doesn't come with you to the second half. Back in after this. It's 36-36. Is that what it was tied at? Okay, even better. Thanks. What was that about, Marty? 5?
Right at about 5, 6,
Okay.
5 or 6 seconds. Fast. J-Ho, get him deep, kid. Right at about 6 seconds cut. And I want a quick pick.
22 in the quarter, 18 on the shot. Visit NBA.com. You can get ready for these playoffs at NBAstore.com. Best selection, team jerseys, hats, T-shirts, and more. You want it, they've got it. NBAstore.com. Every team, one store. New Orleans had a 36-34 lead. It's been 11-4 Dallas since, and they try to close the quarter and milk the clock here. Julian Wright had the assignment on Kidd. Nowitzki from the elbow, fades. Oh, yeah!
I don't know how he does that, but he makes it look easy.
Paul with 2 shots at the end of the first quarter in games 1 and 2. Goes all the way and can't make this one at the end of...
He said that did not happen this half. He was very calm. He said, I wasn't too upset with our defense, but our transition defense definitely has to be a lot better. And as you guys were saying, he said that they just outworked us in that first half. About David West and Chris Paul, he said they missed a lot of easy shots, and I just hope that they get those easy ones back, because I know in this half they will knock them down.
There's an easy one for Eric Dampier. His first field goal, he has 4. You see the history that Dallas is up against. 2-0, rarely do teams come back, although the Mavericks did on the Houston Rockets, and they lost their first 2 games at home in 2005's first round. Paul, a 3. There's Paul, write it down.
Well, 2 good things happened. One at the Dallas end, Lambier got his 5th offensive rebound, and then Dampier puts the ball right in the basket. strong. At this end, Chris Paul gets off the schneid. He has now made his first 3 in the series.
The same 10 that started the game start the third quarter. Nowitzki over West, and the foul is called. Only West felt like he got Nowitzki. Felt that Nowitzki's gangly fallback to the floor got in the way of him.
Now just keep an eye on this. See, he challenged, but he caught him easy. That was an easy call.
What's David complaining about? His second foul, first on the team here. Of note in foul trouble, Tyson Chandler played almost the whole second quarter with 2. And his backup, Hilton Armstrong, has 3. One more coming for Nowitzki, a very good free throw shooter at 88%, 10th in the league this year.
Now Dirk came into this game second only to LeBron James in foul shot attempts. LeBron has attempted 35 in 3 games, and Dirk came in here with 28 coming into this game in attempts.
Now at 31. Mavs lead by 7. Game 4 of this best of 7. Sunday, right here in Dallas. Good overplay by Howard. Pass Paul for 2. Lead up to 9.
We just said that they were missing at the forcing steals, forcing turnovers, getting out in the open floor. Well, we're seeing them tonight. This is Dallas basketball. Now, can they continue to do this for this entire second half?
Good scramble on defense. Their speed has been very good tonight in terms of getting the ball off the miss and going. Dampier position on West. The foul is called. As Morris Peterson came over for help, he picks up the personal.
Right here, we have an excellent move by Josh Howard. He came on the weak side. Page never saw it. He completes it at the other end. That was 14-2 on the break. Now, right here, Dampier's got to get this down. When you're 6'11", you got to play like 6'11", not at 5'11". And right there, 5 offensive rebounds. Come on, you've got to make the catches and score these easy baskets because they are going to continue to foul you and not allow you. Why? Because you are a poor foul shooter.
At 58% on the season. Remember Dampier, who in 2004 rated himself as the second best center in the league behind Shaquille O'Neal. Got a big deal, 7 years and $73 million. Jason Kidd, the great rebounding guard, saved it. Nowitzki gets 2.
Mike, Jason Kidd is everywhere when he's on the floor here tonight. He's been a bear on the boards. He's getting excellent assists. He's making things happen for his team in the transition game.
8 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Stojakovic corner 3. Can't get it. Chased it down. Forced the action and draws the foul. On Nowitzki, first on the Mavs in the quarter. 2 under.
Now what's the right of your screen? Jason Kidd came from the top of the circle down, and not only does he get the rebound, he catches Nowitzki on the baseline in the opposite corner. But then naturally, Dirk is shooting extremely high in this series. He came in shooting over 50% from the floor and over 40% from threes and over 86% on the line.
Stojakovic, 7+ years in Sacramento, 4 of those years averaging over 20 points per game. We often talk about his terrific three-point shooting. By percentage, the top free throw shooter in the NBA this season at 93%. Didn't get there a whole bunch of times, but converted 130 of 140. Can't even do that in your garage, your driveway, shooting free throws. Paul fouls Kidd, and Jason has really pushed the issue here tonight.
Yes, he has, Mike. He's accepted the challenge tonight, and he's wearing Chris Paul out. Anytime that Chris Paul is sending him to the baseline, he's taking him strong to the basket.
There he is in the post-up. They didn't get a lot of points out of these post-ups in the first half.
Go right back to him.
Howard drives over Chandler. Free throws coming. And the Hornets are getting into some foul trouble in terms of team fouls here in this quarter. That's 14 fouls in the first 2.5. And Dallas is the best free throw shooting team in the league. So Byron Scott's team could be giving some free points to the Mavs here. One more for Howard. TNT doubleheader tomorrow. Coverage starts at 2 Eastern. Then Magic Raptors, Game 4. Raptors try to square the series in Canada. Lakers Nuggets go to Colorado. Sunday on ABC, we'll be in Washington for Cavs Wizards Game 4. And the Spurs and Suns Game 4 is at 3:30 Eastern. NBA TV on Monday will have Game 5, that Raptor Magic series, when it returns to Florida. Remember, coming up next, San Antonio Phoenix Game 3, and Saturday night doubleheader Celtics Hawks and Rockets jab.
We just had Terry put two hands on Chris Paul and knocked him all the way to the baseline. So as Chris Paul just made a curl, come over the top, boom, he reciprocated and banged him again.
It's 2 team fouls on the Mavericks. The first on Terry right there. A little more physical with Paul here tonight. West and Howard get to it. Terry go to the floor, but West keeps the triple on. There's only 3 to shoot. And Pace will take 3. Good rebound by West with Nowitzki and Dampier sandwiching him like a partition. And back the other way, 3-on-2. It's Terry. Out of bounds off Howard. New Orleans ball.
If you have not seen Dallas a lot, that's Jason Terry's move. He will blow out on the fast break with you. If you have a defender back, he'll pull up for that 17-footer.
That's the bread and butter play. Paul gets to open space, but West didn't hit the 17-footer. He's 2 of 13 from the field tonight. That Stojakovic foul, with 8:43 in the quarter, puts the Hornets over the limit here in the third.
Well, I like the energy level that we're seeing from Dallas. They're coming out here right now, and they're challenging. You miss a shot, they're getting the ball out quickly, and they're putting terrific pressure in the transition game. Now, what we're seeing early is the fact that in the first half, sporadic defensive transition by the Hornets, and they went up 12-2 in fast break points. So now you start out the second half. You cannot continue to give away 3-on-2, 4-on-2 situations.
Too many good finishers on this team. Howard with 12 points, still low field goal percentage in this series. Speaking of which, this 13-point lead, our stat man Marty Aronoff, working his third game in 3 nights, by the way, points out this is the largest lead of the series for Dallas.
He loves Virginia.
Yes, he does. In Boston and Washington the last 2 nights. Let's see if Paul can get going. Gennaro Pargo off the bench. Good offense in the first half. West 2 for 14 from the field. Look at Kidd. Giving him the full show. And a feed to Dampier, who is fouled. That is all Jason Kidd. And the fans react here in Dallas to the future Hall of Famer.
Jason Kidd is at his creative best in Game 3. In Games 1 and 2, he was adequate. He did a good job. But tonight, he is really making... Watch what happens as Dampier to the left of your screen goes without the ball.
Dampier missed his 2 free throws a moment ago. Kidd is in range for another triple-double in the playoffs. It would be his 12th. He has 100 in the regular season, including 13 this year. That's the most he's had in one single season. And Dampier is 0 for on the line. It is 2 in the first half. He's 0 for 4 here in the second.
Oh, this is a frustration. And what you have to do now is you have to evaluate his play because of the fact that Brandon Bass had a solid, not great, but a solid first half contribution for him.
Pargo, the 3 over Kidd, knocks it down like he did in the first half. Gennaro Pargo hitting shots. He leads the Hornets in scoring with 13 points. 5 for 5 from the field.
Now, he's not bashful, and I like the fact that even if he's cold, he's going to continue to take the shot. He doesn't force anything, but he's not bashful.
Right back to the post-up, UB, and Paul is called for the foul. And Kidd will come to the line.
He's so active tonight, Mike. In the first 2 games, we didn't see enough of that. And I like the strategy, post them up, force Paul to defend you, or even if it's Pargo, keep going down in there, you'll force the double team.
Kidd short, he's got 1 more coming up. Manu Ginobili at 29 points. The 6th man of the year in the NBA, getting set for Game 3 as the scene shifts to Phoenix. That's coming up next here on ESPN. I really love the drama of tonight's games as Kidd misses both free throws. With Dallas and Phoenix, 2 teams that win a boatload of regular season games and made big trades in the middle of the season. Paul is fouled by Terry. You have both of those teams tonight. Look, 2-1 at home is so much different than 3-0. You're not panicking. You're not talking about coaching changes and failed moves in the offseason. You're talking about hey, if we win a home game, series all tied, it's best 2 out of 3. It's such a difference in game 3.
Yeah, but if you look at it, Phoenix at least, they blew game 1. Right, in San Antonio. Game 2, they're right there at the end. All they have to do is make a couple of open threes. It didn't go their way. But here, Dallas, they were run out of the building on 2 occasions in games 1 and 2. When you give up 115 points and then you're getting the differential of a minus 19, you had to come in here tonight and play a great game.
Mavericks leading by 8. Nowitzki, Chandler, good defense. Ronnie Garrison puts his arms up. He said he went straight up. On the leak out, it's Pargo. Kid to the block. But Pargo converts back to 6 points. And man, those 6 missed free throws down here, very big.
6 missed free throws. Monster, why you shoot 81%. As a team, you are #1 in the league. But right now, you have to pay attention because of the fast break opportunity and the 3-point shooting of the Hornets.
Howard has Pargo. They tried to swing it to him. Pargo and Howard came to the other side. Josh couldn't convert. This is a 7-0 New Orleans run. Stojakovic is running to the 3-point line. Ball gets in the paint. Good job by Brandon Bass, helping on D. Terry on the run out.
That's Dallas basketball. That was a great strip by Jason Kidd, and then Terry alertly took right off as soon as he saw that loose ball on the floor.
West struggling mightily. Good defense by the long-arm Bass, but knocking down his 3rd field goal in 15 tries is David West. Halfway through the 3rd, Mavericks by a half dozen.
David West only has to get hot, Mike, for the next 18 minutes of this game. That's it.
Don't worry about the 12 you missed.
That's exactly right. You're too good of a player. Just keep shooting.
Defending Nowitzki. Dirk has 16. Howard comes baseline. Peja had an arm on him. Josh Howard's going to come to the line after the... Thank you, Mark. Antonio McDyess has broken his nose in that game. And people are going to point to, as you look at the brackets now, we're going to give that game to Philly. So that will be 2-1 Philly coming up here in a matter of moments. They Orlando, and Cleveland lead 2-1. Boston game 3 comes up after our NFL draft coverage moves from ESPN to ESPN2. Coach, a lot of people are going to say Pistons and what's wrong with them? Let's not lose the great job Philadelphia's done getting their season going, getting in the playoffs, and winning on the road in Detroit down 15 and winning by 20 in game 3 at home.
Mike, we said all year from the All-Star break on, 22-12 for the 76ers. Then they go in and they get a split in the first section of games at Detroit. From end line to end line, arguably the fastest team in this league. Now, can we say the Pistons are having trouble checking them in the transition game? I would think so.
Absolutely. The game 4 of that series comes up this weekend, and the Heat back on the Pistons. They're always fine. Everything's okay. Maybe not. 19 more free throw attempts for Dallas. They are +8 on the scoreboard, trying to get game 3 down 2-0 in the series. West off the mark. Chandler kept it alive. Nowitzki goes up to get the rebound, and he's fouled, put by Pargo on the way by. Let's see if Dirk is okay.
Their offensive rebounding, you got to give Chandler a lot of credit. They were right in there as they go. Watch it up over the top. He's fighting Nowitzki. Now all of a sudden he got banged in the back of the head. That caused the free ball, but the referees were right on the play.
Nowitzki giving him some time to get back up. He's okay. It's easy for me to say. He's well enough to get up. Jason Terry asked the crowd to hear it for their all-star as athletic trainer Casey Smith is giving a look to make sure Nowitzki's all right.
You look at the situation. The Hornets are desperation point with West and Paul. All right, they are 6 now for 27 from the field. What you're asking for is the 2 guys to get hot for you because you're still in this game. When you make 2 foul shots right now, you're down 10, and you still have plenty of time.
Nowitzki, 17 points, 12 rebounds. Again, you cannot overemphasize how quickly he came back from that high left ankle sprain, missing only 4 games, using time in the hyperbaric chamber, where the extra oxygen helps aid and abet the ability to heal quicker. He's a quick healer to begin with. That ankle will not be right the rest of the postseason, but he has been good. maybe not responding when challenged by West earlier in the series. But boy, he's been good. Speaking of which, Gennaro, anything but generic tonight. Pargo's hit all 7 of his field goals, keeping the Mavs at the Hornets in it. And Nowitzki for the Mavs is fouled by West.
When you look at how can they stay in the game with West and Paul struggling? Well, they now made 7 threes. Pargo has 4, and Stojakovic has 2, and then Chris Paul has 1. So they've stayed in the game with the three-point shooting, and the fact that they have only had 3 turnovers since the first quarter.
I don't know if you heard there's a draft coming up this weekend. Look at this draft 10
really?
years ago. Yeah. 10 years ago. Look at the top 10 from the NBA draft. Nowitzki was taken 9th by Milwaukee. Don Nelson was there, but Mike Bibby, Jameson, Vince Carter, Jason Wade. It was a pretty decent draft. Olo Akandi at the top of the draft, a bust essentially. So you look at that and remember for that, but Nowitzki taken at number 9. He's become the best outside shooting big man at 7 feet in league history and one of the most valuable players last year. Paul the lob for Chandler, broken up by Nowitzki.
They've been doing an excellent job in coming over and cutting off the rim.
And Paul is foul shooting 3 as Terry was trying to close out on him.
You always tell your guys when you close out, you do the closeout drills, you run to the guy's number. Because when you run at his number, you're always going to stop. It's when you run at him and go for the shot block, which very seldom ever happens, that's when you get in trouble with body contact.
Paul makes the first look, 2 more so. Run at his number.
Run at his number.
Arm.
That's right. When you do it every day in practice closing out, you'll always stop because you practice it every day.
We talked about drafts this weekend, the football draft, the NFL draft on ESPN. Players in both drafts, including Otto Schnellbacher, 1947. He's the first. And go back to Dave Winfield, drafted in 3 sports, drafted Major League Baseball as well. And Quinn Buckner was the last to be drafted in both the NFL and NBA draft 32 years ago.
How about Bud Grant? People forget.
Yes,
Bud Grant
right.
was really an outstanding athlete.
The former Minnesota Vikings coach in the Hall of Fame. Nowitzki missed the 3. And again, Dallas controlled this whole game. But it's only a 7-point lead. New Orleans has not played well, but they are hanging around.
All you have to do is just execute in that 4th quarter. The main thing for them right now is just keep it close.
Paul didn't want to take that 3. Now he'll take this one. Off the mark, Nowitzki and Kidd combine on the board.
I like the strategy because they're forcing him to take perimeter shots. He doesn't feel comfortable. You can see it because he's hesitating.
He's 3 for 13 with 12 points. And they have worked him on this end, the defensive end.
Plenty of time.
Nowitzki, patented fade back. Oh. Unblockable shot for Nowitzki, who's fired up as the Mavericks re-extend to a 9-point lead.
He makes something out of nothing and without a dribble. He does not need a dribble for distance. He just elevates.
Pargo finally misses. Chandler, the best offensive rebounder in the league, couldn't squeeze it. Jason, Terry, Paul meets him at the rim, and Terry will shoot free throw.
I hope everyone notices who ignites the break. It's Nowitzki. He catches that rebound in traffic, and then his ability to look up the floor and get the perfect lead pass.
3 fouls on Paul. Watch the athleticism. Getting up here with Terry. Terry inserted into the starting lineup tonight. You like Avery Johnson's thinking behind doing that here this evening?
Absolutely. But when you have a team 2-0 and Jason got 30 in the first game and 25 in the second game, then you know that he plays well in this building against this team.
We're talking about the regular season.
That's correct, in the regular season, in this building. And now you can see tonight he's done an excellent job defensively. Chris Paul is having difficulty getting to the rim off the dribble.
And 20 fast break points. They've been a quicker team. Terry doing a lot of that. Paul giving you every move he's got. Terry didn't move. Pargo, after his first miss, goes right at Nowitzki. It's his second miss. Kidd with the rebound.
Nice decision.
Terry. Good job by Howard to keep it alive.
Take your time here and get a good percentage shot.
Howard draws 2. Kidd floating. Terry 3. Good rebound by Bass, who kept it alive. And a reset for the Mavs with 2:22 to go. They'll take a timeout. In a must-win, the Dallas Mavericks lead by 11. Was in the group that was unhappy with Byron Scott as the head coach and went to management and discussed the conversation with Scott leaving. And nobody's ever come out and said that's what happened, but certainly the relationship between Kidd and Scott has not been one of point guard and head coach who went to 2 finals successfully together. It's not as though there's been a lot of bouquets thrown either way. Kind of a quiet professional respect. Neither one's trash talk. Bass gets to the rim and dunks. But Byron Scott does know, as he told us before Game 1, what Jason Kidd can mean to a team in a playoff series, and he's seeing some of that here in Game 3.
Mike, we have 14 minutes to go in this game. Jason Kidd had 10 rebounds. Nowitzki also has 13. So between the two of them, they're doing a great job on that defensive board.
Pargo, who has been the most aggressive and the best offensive option for Byron Scott's New Orleans team, going to draw some free throws here. And while we have a second, here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Mike, Byron Scott imploring his team that they just have to play better during that last time out. He said right now they want it more than we do, and we've got 14 minutes to decide if we're even going to play in this game. He said we're better than this. They're letting us in the game. We've talked about this all series long. We've got to play better transition defense, and we've got to keep them off the free throw line. Right now, he said, all the Mavericks are doing is putting their heads down and going to the rim, and we're not ready to play defense.
Coach, when you bring a team that is new to this, and a lot of these starters are new,
absolutely,
on the road for the first time, is it as difficult as we think it is?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's okay, Mike, if they get off to a great start and shoot a high percentage. We have not seen that tonight. It's okay as long as your 2 main guys are doing it for you. But when your 2 main guys are struggling, the confidence level goes out of your play.
And it's a constant attack by Dallas. It's a shot clock violation by Howard. But even on that trip, Howard got the rebound amongst 3 players. It is a constant attack. The Mavs haven't flamed out.
But we've been looking for this, Mike. We've been looking for this for 3 games. And on the beside Dallas, because when you say that you were in the top 6 in fewest points against, field goal percentage, 3-point shooting, forcing turnovers, all these great stats, and the team scores 115 average in the first 2. Well, where is all this? Well, we're seeing it tonight.
And not able to get into a lot of their offensive stuff. Dallas has done it on this end, the defensive end. Pargo is the only guy who's got it going on tonight. Gennaro Pargo has 21 points on 8 of 10 from the field. As a playoff career high for Pargo. Terry lost it. It hit Chandler, who got hit in the midsection.
Yeah, that was a good strip. You can see right here, Paul and West definitely are struggling. You can see it's 6 for 29 from the field. Now, big thing, just get Pargo the ball. Anytime in the open floor, he's scoring for you. Anytime in the half-court sets, you know that Paul and Stojakovic, as well as West, are still going to be double-teamed. So Pargo can be your ace in the hole here.
Brandon Bass at Chandler. Fouled by Chandler. Tyson said, I went straight up. I think he might have gotten away with a foul in the post-up process, but it's called on that one for Tyson.
Well, you tell Tyson right now, Tyson, relax. All right, the main thing is don't foul this guy in the jump shot, especially with his back to the basket. He hasn't proven yet that he can score over you with his back to the basket.
So Brandon Bass, out of LSU, top player in the SEC when he was wrapping up his college career. With the Hornets for 2 years, not re-signed. Free agent pickup by the Mavericks. You'll get one more. Tomorrow it's Boston-Atlanta Game 3 on ESPN at 8 Eastern Time. And then Rockets-Jazz Game 4 from Salt Lake City. Utah only lost 4 times at home all year. One of them in the regular season to the Rockets. And then last night the Rockets with a big fourth quarter close to get back in that series. And our ESPN draft coverage, the NFL draft, will start 11 to 3 and then 3 o'clock Eastern when the picking begins in New York. And then at 8, we'll all switch over to ESPN2 to make way for our Saturday night NBA playoff doubleheader. And then don't forget the doubleheader Sunday on ABC. 7 games on the family of networks this weekend, including Philly winning by 20 at home over Detroit in Game 1. Pargo misses, Nowitzki rebounds, a second and a half the difference, game and shot clock.
That's still a good shot for Pargo. As long as he takes his time, he can take Jason Kidd as that shot clock is going down. Take your time off the dribble.
We'll let the crowd play out the third quarter. Nowitzki. Paul, good job bumping him. Let's see, no foul call in the third quarter. Comes to an end. His kick got his way. And Jason Terran, 1 and 2. Only 3 of 13 from the field here in game 3. Pargo and Paul work with Hilton Armstrong, Julian Wright, and Bonzi Wells as this fourth quarter begins, Hubie.
All right, we brought out a point in the first quarter. In the 2 games played here in the regular season, Dallas won both games here. Chris Paul averaged 18 points and 7 assists. And that's almost the type of game that we're seeing here right now. He's not dominating.
Great defense. Nowitzki in the post on Hilton Armstrong. And it's a shot clock violation. Avery Johnson's fourth quarter goes with Devin George, Jason Kidd, Dirk Nowitzki, Brandon Bass, and Jason Terry.
Now, people are saying, what's wrong with the fast breaking attack of New Orleans? Well, right now, only 5 turnovers for Dallas.
Wow.
In the first 2 games, they averaged 16. So you were always out in the open floor making things happen.
New Orleans small on the floor. Terry from the outside connects. It is a 13-point Mavericks lead, trying to get it to 2-1 and get game 4 here. A very pivotal game would come up on Sunday evening.
Give Jason Terry a lot of credit, not only for the 14 points, but the good defense. Once again, see, he gets Chris Paul to shoot where he's not getting a shot attempt with his shoulders squared up facing.
Nowitzki hits a 3. It's a 16-point lead.
Look out now. Look out. You have to be careful now.
Pargo. Terry on the run with Bass, a big dunker. Couldn't get it to him, but keeps the possession alive. Skip wide open. Devin George, a 3. Rebound by Hilton Armstrong. New Orleans needs to be very careful. That ball was tipped away. No double dribble.
Just got to get back in your groove there. You have 10 minutes. You got to make one solid run at them.
Well, what's the one thing you notice? Chris Paul doesn't have the ball in his hands a lot. Dallas is getting it out of his hands. Wells. Bonzi off the mark. Armstrong keeps it alive with an offensive board. Pargo resets. Around George and Nowitzki. Firing Jason Kidd. The best playoff game of Jannero Pargo's career. Remember, he played with the Lakers and the Bulls 3 other times in the playoffs. His 4th playoff appearance.
You give him time, Mike. He can score on the second unit. He can make it happen. And they have a lot of confidence in him, Byron Scott and his staff. And they give him, that was an offensive foul. That was an offensive foul.
Terry a 3. And New Orleans may have to take a timeout. 17-point lead. Dallas so active and so quick on D. Pargo again.
The ball's like a magnet to the basket when it leaves his hand.
He has 25 of those 67 points. What a night for Pargo. Kidd going at Pargo. Good help defense by Wright to come over, but Kidd got it back and threw it to the trainer on the bench, Casey Smith. Kidd also got hit and knocked down. Yep, and Mark, nobody's rallied from down 0-3 in NBA playoff history. New Orleans hoping to avoid becoming part of that. Dallas trying to get the win. Speaking of past history, let's go back, Hubie, to the last time that the Hornets franchise won here in Dallas. They were the Charlotte Hornets. Where were you in January of '98 when Glenn Rice, in the pinstripe Charlotte Hornet uniforms, led the Mavericks to a win? A mile or so from here at Reunion Arena, Rice, Anthony Mason, David Wesley, Matt Geiger, and Corey Beck started. Michael Finley was starting here for the Mavs. You'll see him with San Antonio with Sean Bradley, Samaki Walker, Eric Strickland, and Dennis Scott. Dusting off an old box score from a decade ago. Part of the 13 consecutive wins that the Hornets have had over the Mavericks here in Dallas. Pargo again. Jannero Pargo. Jason Kidd, we mentioned that he threw it to the trainer, was going to see the trainer. He got a shot in the head, and he hit the timeout. Coach, you were pointing out that this is getting a little physical here.
Yeah, we're getting non-calls here, and you would like to stop it, mainly because guys are getting blasted in the head at both ends of the floor.
Well, Jason Terry's insertions in the starting lineup has been the chess piece that's worked tonight with 19 points, because Pargo is the only guy who's brought it for New Orleans tonight.
Weston Paul, 6 for 30. That's 20%. Your two best players. It just makes it impossible to make a strong rally.
His career high regular season is 34. He missed there. Chandler tried to volleyball it, but Devin George, who's played some good minutes here, keeping it alive. And George is trying to stand in the way of the Jason Kidd trade right at the All-Star break. He's ended up staying here and has played a decent role here in Game 3. All the rebound. His first of the night. 8 assists and a dozen points for the MVP candidate. Pargo rimmed it out. Chandler gets the offensive board. 11 rebounds for Chandler, but only 2 points. Great pass by Wells to West for the dunk.
The frustration, you can read it on the faces of the players of the Hornets. Also, the transition. We are not seeing the energy on the break to force a score at the other end. You look at it, you say, a little shade under 7 minutes, you're only down 12 points. Just get a couple of stops here right now. Anything can happen.
Nowitzki let West get in the air. Got the basket and the foul.
Mike, anything did happen, but at the wrong end. Dirk is just having a special night here this evening. Not only does he have the points, he has 27 going to the line. He'll be shooting his 8th foul shot of the evening. But most important, the 14 rebounds and the 5 assists, the 6 assists. He's just having a terrific all-around game.
You know what else, which you can't quantify with a number off a box score, but coaches can't off film? He's been really good on defense. He's been a presence on the defensive end of the half court almost every trip tonight.
Well, he's covering the lane area anytime that Chris Paul is coming off the screen and rolling down it. He's leaving his man, coming down in to cut off the pass, forcing an extra pass to go outside.
Bonzi Wells couldn't convert. Paul gets the rebound, put it up with the clock running down. Devin George was on the baseline, out of bounds. It'll be Hornets ball. You know, that soft word is it's such a difficult phrase. He gets tossed out. People wanted Nowitzki to go back at David West in game 1 when West touched his chip. But if he goes back at him and gets himself in trouble, he gets himself suspended. If he makes a silly play, as Pargo hits another one. Is it 31 now for Pargo? I've lost count. There's 30. 14 arrow.
In that situation,
if he does that, Coach, then people say, oh my gosh, he's stupid.
That's right. Well, Mike, you're right, because you have no idea what would happen if he raised his arm and pushed the hand away. Who knows what would have happened after that? And the fact is, he cannot get suspended. And the way that they suspend guys today, that could happen in a heartbeat if anything went on. Now, a lot of people challenged him and said that as soon as he touched his face, he should have knocked the hand away. Well, that depends upon the individual.
Foul was on Chris Paul. It was a blocking foul.
Fast like Devin Harris. What was your assessment of those first 2 games?
It's not so much speed out there. They just needed to, make the proper adjustments in the screen and roll. Obviously, what they've been doing, since the trade, has been great. Obviously, Avery's a great defensive coach. It's all about making adjustments.
And you know what you know what it's like to defend somebody like Chris Paul. To defend Chris Paul, what's the toughest part about D'ing him up?
Well, it's tough to play one-on-one defense because, he involves you in so many screen and rolls. But the key with him, it takes 5 to guard him. I mean, they have to, maybe get the ball up, kind of like what they did tonight, and force other guys to score.
Now, you told me earlier that the reason that you really wanted to come was to support your good friend Josh Howard. I was speaking to him earlier. He says he does miss you being around here, his guy to hang out with. What do you make of what's happening with Josh right now and the whole marijuana thing?
I mean, it's pretty much just Josh speaking his mind. And if you know Josh at all, he's a guy that likes to speak his mind. And obviously it can be good things and it can be bad things, but he's the same no matter what. I support him no matter what. He's like a brother to me, but obviously, he's just speaking his mind.
But what do you think about him kind of throwing all of you guys in the NBA under the bus?
I mean, you know, like I said, he speaks his mind. He believes that, and obviously, you know, obviously there's no secret around, but, you know, he's just trying to do the best that he can, obviously, with the situation he's dealt with. And, obviously, you know, it's not the best thing he probably could have said at the right time, but, you know, obviously, he's just going to go with it.
And I'm sure he's happy that you're here to support him. Thanks a lot. Good luck in Jersey. Mike.
Thank you, Lisa. The lead remains 13. Nice cut by Howard, who is fouled. No basket. It's a foul on the Howard attempt. For those of you who didn't catch the news earlier on, in an interview with Michael Irvin, who does a local radio show on the ESPN affiliate here in Dallas, Josh Howard brought up that he has used marijuana in the off-season, which is out of the parameters of the league drug testing policy. Marijuana is part of the policy, and the drug testing 4 times a year in the league happens from October 1st through June 30th. Now, Howard did go on to say that he thinks, and this has been reported by a lot of people over time, it's one of those things you can never put a definite number on, so it's very hard to say, that other players around the league use marijuana. And Howard said that in the interview like it's common knowledge, and that was the one thing, in addition to the awful timing when he had been playing poorly and his team was down 0-2 the day of the game. An interview that he and somebody who works with him requested was Howard coming out and throwing the rest of the league under the bus. Accurate or not, you got to put names to something like that, or you indict innocent people who are part of the league. In any case, that story will play out over the next few days. That won't go away. Howard did not address it directly before the game. And a foul as Chris Paul was trying to drive inside and get some space, which he has had none of here tonight.
You got to give all the credit to the coaching staff of Dallas and into the players. Their defense tonight has been absolutely sensational. Right now, you're looking at 76 points for the Hornets. Remember, they're averaging 115 in the series. But also give 2 things credit. They have gotten to the line. Dallas is 28 for 39, okay? That is incredible. They have 39 foul shot attempts in this game, and they only have 7 turnovers.
Pargo, who's had the great game, is off West over Nowitzki with Dampier helping, gets a second chance, and finally able to get one. And West is 6 of 20. Paul is 3 of 16 from the field.
3:50 to go. You're still down 12 points. You look at all these statistics. Everything has gone wrong, and you're still in the game. That's why, if this should stay the way it is right now, you have no problem talking to your team, because you know that your team can play 50% better than what they did this evening here on national television.
Terry the miss, Stojakovic the rebound. Game 4 Sunday night. Mavs are hoping there'll be a chance to even the series at 2. Pargo past Kidd, out of bounds off Jason, 15 on the shot clock. Gennaro Pargo has been the star of the game for New Orleans with 30 points. 12-point win for New Orleans in Game 1. 24-point blowout win in Game 2. TNT will have Game 4 on Sunday night. If the Mavs hold on, we'll guarantee a Game 5 back in New Orleans on Tuesday, and you see the rest of the way this schedule will play out, going Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. 9-point game. Stojakovic at 3.
That's right. And right now, he is only 4 for 10 in this game. That was his 3rd 3. You're right, Mike. You're only down 9. You have 3 minutes to go. It comes down to stop time.
They haven't been able to. Kidd gets in to Terry, who's been a big star here tonight with Nowitzki. Goes around everybody. Brandon Bass kept it alive, but he fouled. So that's why he was able to keep it alive. And after this timeout, New Orleans will have a chance to get it to 7 or 6. Wallow. This one would last for a long time. Thanks, Mark. Here, Chris Paul, who's only the 8th man, QB, to go back-to-back with 30 points and 15 assists in a playoff game, has been completely held in check. Now, what has it been? Has it been something at one of your great coaching clinics, some different defenses they've come up with, or did Dallas just dig inside?
Well, rather than trap him strong on a lot of occasions, they've gone under the screen. By going under the screen, Jason Terry is beating him to the area when he turns the corner to go down the lane. So that's been the one way they've played him. They've gone over the top sometimes, but a minimum of trapping, and it's worked to their advantage. They forced him to look at the long shots. And since he's not shooting well, he's not in a groove, so he stepped away. Unfortunately for him, 3 for 16 for the foot. It's kind of brutal.
Well, they come out of the timeout, run a play for Pargo, and it was halfway down, trying to get to 7. You see Dallas's mastery here in this city, not just this building, of the Hornets. Hornets have never won in here. It looks like they'll be trying to do it in game 4. 8 on the clock for Nowitzki, who has 30 and 17 boards. Jason Kidd is open for 3. West to Nowitzki, battle for the board, and is out off of West.
Now West's upset with the call. He thought that Dirk was over his back, but right there, Joe DeRosa was right on top of the call.
Quick trigger. No, rebound Pargo, 2-10.
You get a 3 in here, Mike, or a drive to the basket and a basket and a foul and get a 3 that way.
Oh, first alley-oop of the night. They have not converted on those all night. Now it's a 7-point game with 2 to go.
You're right back in this thing. Main thing right now is do not foul. The big thing is Dallas is making their foul shots. Now they're right back in a rhythm. And the key guys will have the ball and shoot over 80%.
Either team over the limit. Howard baseline, 8 to shoot. Diagonally into the lane. Terry will take 3. And make it! He's been the guts of this team tonight. He's added the emotional edge. 22 for Terry. Lead is 10. 99 seconds to go.
He's right there in the big picture. You go Dirk, and then you go Jason Terry. He's had sensational. He's made big shots hard out in the transition game, and he's done a nice job defensively on Paul off the fourth field goal. A foul is just going to be unless it's in the act of shooting.
Nowitzki. 17 for Dirk. It's 10 with $1:10 to go.
We knew they would score the basketball here. Everyone knew that they would score points. They are an excellent team in this building. The question was, could they defend? And the answer to that was yes. They did it all here tonight.
Deja put it on the deck, didn't get the roll. Nowitzki went for rebound 18, and a loose ball foul called on the Hornets. And Dallas going to get one here and extend the series. Again, first team foul last 2 minutes. The Dallas ball in the backcourt with 54 to go.
Main thing is now just run time and make sure that your 3 key guys who are shooting over 80% handle.
Terry and Dirk out top. 5 to shoot. Howard. Good night. Terry and Paul with contact here in the backcourt. Foul to give for Dallas. Terry gave it hard. That's really like the energy, the passion that was missing from the Mavericks on the road in games 1 and 2 has been apparent here, and that guy's been a huge reason and gets a big ovation as he comes out.
Rightfully so. They limited their turnovers. They were averaging 16 turnovers a game down in Hornet land. Here tonight, they've done an excellent job. Now, that time, now you got to stop here.
Completely hard foul with no attempt to go at the ball by Dampier.
That's exactly right.
And Chandler comes up and responds and gives him lip. And this is like a hockey series where the outcome has been decided, and then there's just a foul for the purpose of sending a message coming. Now they need to pull Pargo and Paul away here before the officials can have a conversation of what they're going to do in calling a foul.
You can talk all you want. Just make sure you don't swing at anyone. All right, we can live with that. You do not need a suspension in a 2-1 series after this game. Also on the dribble, there has been a lot of dribbling tonight at both ends where the dribbler has started with the contact as he's dribbling the ball using his forearm, his lead forearm on people. And you're getting retaliations at both ends of the floor. So we've had some hard fouling with non-calls. Keep an eye right there. See, he stepped in, but then Dampier stepped on Chris Paul, and he put him into a stagger. Watch it right there. See, he pushes him from the rear into a stagger. But notice how Paul, that's what all good offensive players do. on the drive. They dribble in and they force the contact with that lead shoulder and forearm.
We'll certainly have technical. His question here is that a flagrant foul for unnecessary contact?
Depends upon how you want to say. Dampier, did he stumble and force the push in the back, or did he do it deliberately?
Technical fouls called on Dampier and Chandler, and a flagrant one has been called on Dampier. So technical on Chandler as Paul makes the free throw. A technical on Dampier and a flagrant one on Dampier for those free throws and the ball. It makes it a 10-point game with 27.3 to go. Ball misses. Nowitzki the rebound, and the shot clock off, and Dallas will just play it out. So it had to have, for a variety of reasons, if they would have been a lot of